97 drivers have ran a race in NASCAR's next-gen car that was put in place to start the 2022 season. There have been 115 total races ran in this car, and we have had 23 drivers run only one race. This video, we're going to go through those 23 drivers, talk about their results, and see who had the best finish. The first driver to run a one-off in NASCAR's next-gen car took place in the first race of this car, which was the 2022 Daytona 500, and Jacques Villeneuve. It was the 51-year-old's fifth career Cup Series start, and he finished one spot behind his best finish of 21st that came in his Cup Series debut back at the 2007 Fall Talladega race. This was notably the first race for Team Hesburgh. A few weeks later at Circuit of the Americas, Boris Said jumped in the number 66 car for MBM Motorsports and finished 26th after starting 37th in what is said to be his final NASCAR Cup Series start, and the 55th one at that. Jumping to the Gateway race in summer of 2022, and it was Parker Kligerman making his 30th Cup start, his first for Rick Ware Racing in the number 15 car. He started 36th and finished 31st. This is the only start Parker Kligerman made in his Cup Series career that was not behind the wheel of a Toyota. The next weekend, it was another Connecticut driver. It was Scott Heckert in the number 78 Live Fast Motorsports car at Sonoma. He started 35th and finished 33rd. This was his fourth Cup start, as he had ran a few races the previous season for Live Fast Motorsports as well. For the next driver, we have to jump all the way to the start of the 2023 season, where it was Travis Pastrana jumping in the number 67 car for 2311, the first time 2311 fielded a third car, and he finished 11th position after starting dead last. Despite running the full Nationwide Series season in 2013, this is his one and only NASCAR Cup Series start. For the second year in a row at Circuit of the Americas, we had another driver running a one-off race. This time it was Jordan Taylor filling in for a snowboarding injured Chase Elliott in Hendrick Motorsports' number 9 car. He had a very impressive qualifying run, finishing 4th, but couldn't quite follow that up in the race, coming home in 24th position. This is his one and only Cup Series start. There were two one-offs a few weeks later at the Bristol Dirt Race. The first one was Dirt star Jonathan Davenport, who jumped in Kaulig Racing's number 13 car. He qualified in 21st position after finishing 4th of 9 cars in the 4th heat race for this event, but came home in 36th position after getting into an accident. The second driver to have a one-off at the Bristol Dirt Race was Matt Crafton, who was a last-minute fill-in for Cody Ware, who was reported to miss the race due to a personal matter. It would come out after the race that he was arrested, but the charges were dropped in December of that year. Crafton finished 6th of 9 drivers in the 3rd heat race, qualifying 24th. He finished 10 spots behind that in 34th position, his only Cup start in the next-gen car. Just like Parker Kligerman the year before, we had a driver making a one-off appearance in Rick Ware Racing's number 15 car. This time it was Gray Gaulding, who was running his 4th different number for Rick Ware Racing in the Cup Series, but his one and only start in the next-gen car. He qualified 35th and finished 29th, and he has actually only made one start in NASCAR's top 3 series since this race, which was a 9th place finish at the 2023 Summer Xfinity race at Daytona. The next weekend, it was Grant Enfinger making his Cup Series debut, although he did DNQ for a race back in 2011. He was filling in for Noah Gragson, who had a concussion following a wreck the previous week at Gateway. He started 35th and finished 26th position in his one and only Cup Series start. A few weeks later at the Indianapolis Road Course, RCR tried to find their Shane Van Gisbergen and got the guy who would go on to beat him in the 2023 V8 Supercars Championship, Brody Kostecki. The Australian had actually ran some races in the ARCA Menard Series East back in 2013 and 2014 against current Cup drivers like Daniel Suarez and Cole Custer. He started 11th, just one spot shy of the top 10, and finished in 22nd position in his one and only NASCAR Cup Series start. Jumping to Kansas now, where we have 2020 Truck Series champion Sheldon Creed making his one and only Cup Series start for Live Fast Motorsports. He started 34th and finished 29th in the 78 car. Our first one-off appearance that took place in the 2024 season was David Starr back in the 66 car for MBM Motorsports. He had a last place sweep this weekend, qualifying last and finishing dead last in 37th position. A few weeks later at Sonoma, the SVG effect continues as another V8 Supercars driver came over in Will Brown. He started in 24th position and finished in 31st, but he would go on to win the 2024 V8 Supercars Championship, and at the time of this video, he leads the 2025 point standings. This was his one and only NASCAR Cup Series start. And the Australian takeover does not stop there, as the same weekend Cam Waters jumped into the number 60 car for RFK Racing. He started 31st and finished 35th in what has been his only NASCAR Cup Series start to date. At the Summer Daytona race, it is NASCAR Xfinity Series team owner Joey Gase, and he showed up for a one-off with NY Racing in the number 44 car. He started in 39th position, but had a solid top 20 day. I don't think he was really complaining about that, and this was a cool car. You don't see a whole lot of yellow and red together. Our first Cup Series winner on this list, and it was Juan Pablo Montoya showing up to the 2014 Watkins Glen race in the number 50 car for 2311 after a 10-year absence. With this race, he started Cup races in the Gen 4, 5, 6, and 7 cars. He started 34th and finished 32nd at the Glen. The next driver on this list, and it was Jeb Burton, also in the 50 car, but for a different team, Team Amerivet, instead of 2311. This was his first Cup start in over 5 years. He started 40th and finished 38th, and there are some really good quotes that came from him this race. Something I find pretty crazy is through 7 races in 2025, we have 5 drivers who have only ran 1 race in NASCAR's next-gen car. Starting those off is Helio Castroneves, 4-time Indy 500 winner. He is the only driver in next-gen history to qualify 41st after that open car exemption that they got for the Daytona 500. He finished 39th after getting into an accident pretty early on in the race, but this was a cool paint scheme and hopefully he comes back for some more. Our next driver on this list is someone who is going to be off this list very soon, Connor Zilisch in the number 87 car. He is planning on running the Coca-Cola 600 at Charlotte, so he's only going to be on this list for a short period of time. He qualified 17th for his NASCAR Cup Series debut and finished last in 37th place at Circuit of the Americas. The next weekend, and we had our first female running a NASCAR Cup Series race since 2018 in Catherine Legge. Of course, it was Danica Patrick in the 2018 Daytona 500. That was the last time we saw a female Cup driver. She qualified 37th in her debut and finished in 30th position for Live Fast Motorsports in the number 78 car that was weirdly using the Colleague Racing font. I don't understand that at all. And just last weekend, we had 2 drivers add themselves to this list. First up is Burt Myers, the 10-time Bowman Great Track champion. He ran the Clash earlier this year for NASCAR's first visit to the Madhouse, but that was an exhibition race. He did, however, show up last weekend for Team Amerivet at Martinsville, running his first points-paying race. He started 38th in last place and finished in 36th position in the number 50 car. And last but not least, we have Casey Mears, who joined Juan Pablo Montoya as Cup winners, making their way on this list, and also drivers to run in the Gen 4, 5, 6, and 7. He should get off this list pretty soon, as it is his goal to get to 500 Cup Series start. This race at Martinsville got him to 490. He started in 37th position and finished 35th for MBM Motorsports in the number 66 car. Through these 23 starts, we did not have a single driver getting a top 10. The closest we got was Travis Pastrana with an 11th place at Daytona in 2023. Only one other driver managed top 20, and that was Joey Gase at the Summer Daytona race in 2024. These guys had an average finish of 29.6, so barely squeaking into the top 30. Jordan Taylor's 4th place qualifying run at Circuit of the Americas in 2023 was the highest of all these guys as well. Thanks for watching.